Yes, good day, my dear viewer. This is Pastor Richard, your instructor. Today we are going to make a continuation of what we have already started, a ground plan of one-bedroom house. And then last time we learned how to draw the elevation, the front elevation. And today we are going to learn how to draw a side elevation. So let's see, the side elevation that we are going to draw is in this direction at 4. That's what we're going to draw. The other time we did the front elevation in the direction of R1. So today we are going to do side elevation in the direction of R4. Yes, so the copy of our ground plan is here. The copy of our ground plan is here. So let me first delete this to clear the working space. I select, then hit delete key from the keyboard. Then the copy of our ground plan that we are going to use is here. And the side elevation that we are going to draw is this. I've named it side elevation 4 because from here it's also side elevation 4. When you look at it, it's side elevation 4. So at this direction here, where the arrow is pointing to where we're going to draw. So when I zoom, this is the elevation that we are going to draw. But we're going to use ground plan to come up with this elevation. So I'm going to make it in the most simple way by first making a copy of this again. I can select copy. Then I highlight this or I select this. Then I right click. Then I select again. Then I copy now. I copy and put it here. So after I'll put here, then I right click and click enter. So I've already made a copy of my ground plan here. So what next? I will rotate it. I will rotate it so that I come up with what I want exactly. So I can again add light. Then I go and select rotate. Then I right click. Then I give a pick point at this corner here. Then I can now what? Rotate it at 90. Rotate it at 90. You can even hold the shift key so that you're sure it's at what? At 90. Then you hit enter. So I've rotated it at 90. But it's a bit close to this. So I can still move it a bit. I can select the whole thing or I highlight the whole thing. Then I select move from the command. Then I pick and then what? I click at another distance like this. So I've moved the whole thing. So this is what we are going to use to come up with the side elevation 4. So the side elevation 4 which we are going to draw is what you are seeing on the screen. So what are we going to do? We are going to use the layers TB, which is for the outline. So I will use the construction line as we used the other time in front elevation. So let me give the command construction line XL. You hit enter from my keyboard. Then I give horizontal construction line by typing H. Then I hit enter. AutoCAD will realize that you are ready to draw horizontal construction line. Then you give it the baseline or the ground level. So this is our ground level. So when we have given the ground level, it is now simple. So we can even use another technique today by not everywhere using construction line. So we can use the command line, type L, enter. Then we can bring this line from here. AutoCAD will realize it. You see? You can bring it from there, then you click. Then now, you see AutoCAD have borrowed the line from down and we are going with it up. So you can type maybe a distance of, let's say, maybe 3,000 millimeter. Let me even say 3,200, 3,200. Then I hit enter. I hit enter. So that one is already lining with this. So I can again take another line from this. So I can select line. Then I brought another line from here. AutoCAD is bringing me up with the same line. I click here. Then maybe I type the distance, the length. That is the first point. Then the second point is 3,200. Then I hit enter. I hit enter. So I've already come up with this line here and then this line here. So we can now come up with this. This is 75 millimeter. So we can offset upward by 75 millimeter, then we offset by again 200 millimeter. So we can select offset, or we type O and hit enter is also the same. Then we type the offset distance 75. We can even make it 100, but for now let's use 75. So this line, we already come up with it. So to come up with this line again, we are going to offset by 200. So we right click, we repeat offset, then we type the offset distance 200, enter. Then we pick and offset, that is 200. So when we measure this distance here, we can measure this distance here for you to see what we are doing. We measure this distance from here up to the ring beam level is 2,100. So we can offset this by 2,100 to come up with the ring beam level. Then ring beam itself is 200. So we give the command offset by typing O, enter. Then we type the offset distance is 2,100, enter. Then we select, and this is now our ring beam level. So what next? We have to, the ring beam itself is 200, so we can still right click and repeat offset. Then we type the offset distance 200. So this is the height of our ring beam. We hit enter. Then we now offset this. We are seeing it from here. We are seeing everything from here. So this is now the level we have raised. It is and the level of ring beam, the upper point of the ring beam. So the next things to do is to measure this distance now from here up to this point here. So, and the distance from there up to that point, we can measure it. This point to this point is 2,822. So 2,822. So we can offset this to 2,822. So we select offset 2,822. Then we hit enter. Then we pick this line, then we offset here. This is now the upper level where our roof begin to incline. This is very interesting now. So we need to use now construction line, and what is going to be our roof piece angle. We can use, normally this time people use piece of maybe 26, 27, 30. In Mali here I've seen people use piece of 30 plus, and their roof are very steep, which is okay, can set up the roof and set up the rain very fast, but sometimes it also improve beauty for other people. But for me, I don't want the pitch which is too high, the roof pitch which is very high. So let's use the angle of 26, the angle of 26 pitch. So we can use construction line for this purpose. We can use construction line. So we can type XL, then we hit enter. Then now we need it at an angle of 40 of 26. So we can type A, which is angle, then we hit enter. Then we give the angle, which is 26. Then we hit enter. So it's inclining at the angle of 26. So I just pick there and it is done. So that is our roof pitch is 26. Roof pitch is what? Is 26. So what we are going to do is to do a bit of trimming. do a bit of trimming. So let me first offset the roof overhang, which is 600 millimeter, so that it helps us to trim around. So I can select offset, I can type O, enter, then I offset by 600, hit enter. So I can now offset 600 both sides, 600 this side. So this one now is going to help me for the roof overhang. Yes. So let me do some trimming around so that you begin to look at how these things appear. Then I right click, I select, I can type TR, which is trim. TR, I hit enter. Then again I hit enter. So I can now trim. I can now trim. When you hit enter 2 times, AutoCAD will be ready to trim. So I can even trim this. I can also trim this. I can also trim this. I can also trim this. So let me also trim some of these lines like that. So there we are. So you see it is now coming up, but not yet up to date. It's now coming up, but not yet up to date. So what we are going to do is still to select trim, we right click, we trim this off. We can also trim this one off. Trim, we hit enter, then we trim off this. We select this line, we don't need it, we delete. Then we select this line, then we bring it down up to here. Then this, we can also bring it here. We select this, we use grip editing. When you pick this blue and it becomes red like this, you can move that, we can stretch that line. So that is also another technique that I'm showing you. You can select the line like this, then you pick from the blue part, then you stretch it downward, you bring it here. So you see our outline is now coming almost like this one here. So the next things we are going to do is this part, we can trim it off. We can even use grip editing. We pick like this and we end it there. This one I also pick like this, then I end it here. I want it to be very, very simple for you to understand the concept of how to draw the side elevation. So this is not important. I can trim off this. And trim off this. Then I can also repeat trim. Then I trim off this. So you see our outline is now coming. So this one I can use grip editing. I pick from the blue part, and when it becomes red, you can stretch it to reduce it. So I can hit escape key. So our outline is now coming. So the next thing is to mirror this line so that this part comes. So what do? We select mirror. Then we highlight the item we are going to mirror. Then we right click. Then we pick it from the center point here. Then we mirror. Then we right click and we enter. You see, our roof is now coming up. So the next things to do is to trim up these 2 lines. I can select trim, I right click, then I trim up this. You see, our thing is coming up now. So now we are going to offset by let me measure this so that you get to know what we are going to offset. Let me measure it with align dimension. Okay, take this offset distance just from here. This to this. So this to this, this to this. I've just borrowed the offset distance just from one to the other because the dimension was, yeah. So that is that. You can offset it by the size of the faceable, which is around 230. Let's first delete and do it again. I want you to understand very clearly. So we can select offset. So the size of the faceable is something like 230. I hit enter. Then I offset this. I offset this. Then I can offset maybe 25 millimeter for the Mapati. Offset 25. 25 for Mapati. So this one here, there is a gap that we can still pick a line from here. Then we draw it upward here. Then now we use extend. We extend it to meet up there. So extend is hidden. When trim is open, extend is hidden. So you select this small arrow here. When you select this small arrow here, then you'll see the trim, the extend. The extend is here. So you select where you want to extend, then you right click, then you extend, extend. You extend, you extend. But extend is, we have already done what? Extending. So that is that. That is that. So now the next thing is can even still use this line. Can borrow this line from here. Can even use extend. We extend this line to come upward. This 600 come upward. Let me delete this. It's not necessary. So we are almost done with our thing. This line is not necessary. We can delete it off. It was only used for construction. So we can still extend this line to come upward to guide us. So what I'm going to do is select extend, then I extend this to this, and then to this. Then I right click, then I extend this up. I also extend this up. Then I right click, I enter. So this one now I can trim off this. And select trim. I trim off this. Then I also trim off this. Then I can repeat trim. I click trim. I select this. I right click. I trim off this. I trim off this. So you see, our roof is coming up now. Our roof is coming up now. So this one is not supposed to go up and take using grip editing. And I bring it there. So you see, this is how we can come up with the elevation very easily. Can come up with the elevation very easily. This line here, it have to be there. This line here, it have to be there. So that is how we can come up with our elevation very nicely. We can bring this down here and we select this one. We bring it what? Here. Then we also select this. We bring it on this. Select this. Then we bring it on this. So our group is now coming up. So this one we have to see a way of trimming it a bit and also trimming it a bit. So what I'm going to do is going to draw a line here. So after I've drawn a line here, I can mirror this line here to this side. Then I trim it off, then I delete the line. So when I select this line like this, then I select mirror, then I pick the mirror line from center to this center. Then I right click, then I enter. So the line has already come this way. So I can trim off this, I trim off this. So I select trim, I right click, I pick where I'm the mirror, the trim line, I right click, then I trim, I trim. So this is how best you can do it. Select this line is not necessary, then you delete them. So I don't want this demonstration to be too long. Thank you so much for watching. Next time we shall meet again and do the section of this ground plan. Thank you.